Hi, my name is Zelise Stewart, and I'm a senior at Hinckley High School. The Black students at Hinckley have been very targeted since the 4 years I've been there, and I feel like I've had to step up and be the voice for many of us. Black males are targeted in the building, they're harassed at a disproportionate amount, even though Black students make up a very small population of our school. When we've addressed the issue of the N-word, it is constantly put on the back burner, and attempts to address the issue do not follow through, and it seems to just be something to get us over with in the moment. I feel like it's fallen on the shoulders of Black students and staff members to address an issue, but it doesn't make sense for us to address the issue that is like issue of racism towards us. I feel like it's very exhausting having to be the voice for Black students because they're constantly feel like their voices aren't heard, so there's no point for them to even having to speak up. And it's exhausting to be in an environment in a school where you're so outnumbered and your mental health is put at stake every day because you're surrounded by racism. And the Hispanic students, who are the primary ones to say the word, are not held accountable at all. Our principal is very neglectful when it comes to addressing the issue. She pushes it off to be the responsibility of Black students to be educators, but I feel like it's to a point where education no longer serves its purpose because they don't care. They simply don't care. They know that it's wrong. When you address them about saying the word, they do take accountability. You can see that they become flustered, so they know it's wrong and they continue to do so because they simply don't care. Black students are not respected in our school building, and neither are the staff members, yet we're the ones who are expected to speak about the issue and expected to make a change. And all the efforts that we have made are being shut down in this school building. And like I said, it is exhausting having to be the voice for Black people, having to stand up and talk when obviously they don't care. They don't care about our voices, they don't care about our experiences, but they care if we're not going to class, if we're roaming the halls supposedly, if we're being too loud. That they love to say that we're being too loud when we literally are facing racism. Like, so we walk the halls every day and hear the N-word and have no accountability. No one bats an eye. No one flinches. It doesn't even seem to bother. It's just a blink of an eye. And in fact, Black students are the ones who are blamed for the word, as if the amount of times that the word is said a day can be said by the Black students. We don't even say the word because all the power that the word has been taken away from us. So for Black students to be being blamed with the racism that they're experiencing is disgusting. And yeah.
Could you repeat your name for us?
Zelise Stewart. Zelise Stewart.
Zelise Stewart. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the Aurora Public School Board of Education. Again, my name is Coco Kincaid, and I'm here today to talk about the racism against Black students in Aurora Public Schools. Before I start, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible courage of Zelise, who has spoken this evening. She's not just advocating for herself, but paving the way for future generations. Her efforts are ensuring that those who come after her won't have to endure the same racism and silencing that she has. This selfless dedication to creating a better future for others is truly admirable and deserves our deepest respect and support. Now imagine being a student walking through the halls of your school where you should feel safe and welcome, but instead you're hearing racial slurs like the N-word thrown around casually with no remorse from students and no accountability from those in charge. For many Black students at Hinckley High School, this is their reality. These students have bravely shared their experiences of enduring racial slurs, discriminatory treatment, and a hostile learning environment. They've led campaigns, conducted surveys, and organized forums to highlight the pervasive use of the N-word by non-Black students. Despite their efforts, an administration response has been lacking, leaving these students to navigate a climate of racism and neglect on their own. The use of the N-word by non-Black students is not just a matter of offensive language. It is a direct attack on the dignity and humanity of our Black students. It creates an environment where they feel unsafe, unheard, unwelcome, and unsupported. This is unacceptable in any educational setting, and it is the school and the district's responsibility to ensure that all students have a safe and equitable learning environment. But this is not about punishment. This is about creating a safe, welcoming environment where every student can learn and grow without fear. This is about setting a standard of respect and inclusion that reflects our diverse community's values. We call upon the APS School Board to implement explicit district-wide anti-racism policies. These policies must prohibit the use of racial slurs, specifically the N-word, by non-Black students and staff. Clear disciplinary procedures should be established and enforced consistently across all APS schools. But policies alone are not enough. It is essential that everyone, students, teachers, staff, and the community are educated and informed about these policies. This includes notifying all APS families and requiring parents and guardians to acknowledge their understanding of the policies and the consequences of failing to follow them. Training should be provided to all staff and students at the beginning of each school year to ensure everyone is aware of their responsibilities in maintaining a respectful and inclusive environment. By taking these steps, we can begin to address the systemic issues that have allowed racism to persist in Aurora Public Schools. We urge the board to move beyond words and commit to real structural change. The safety, dignity, and educational well-being of Black students cannot be ignored any longer. Let's do better. Thank you so much for your time and attention.